It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey guys, what's up? You're watching Up and Adam. My name's Adam Newell. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm the guy bringing you guys all the weekly interviews and recaps from your favorite celebrities and pop culture influencers. But for those of you who do know me, you know that that's not why we're always here, right? Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. And with that being said, let's jump right in. Okay, guys, so we are back to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but not all of them, actually just one in particular who is receiving a lot of heat right now. So guys, if you just watched this past episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta this past week, it was intense. It was crazy. There were so many things happening in this episode, but one thing stood out to the fans, the Bravo super fans, the most, and that would be Kenya Moore's problematic costume. So Kenya Moore came to Fallon Gobadia's Halloween party, and if you guys don't know who Fallon Gobadia is, she's amazing. She's kind of a friend of the show as of right now, but I have a feeling she'll be getting a peach most likely next season, but we'll have to wait and see. Fallon decided to invite all of the women to her house to have a Halloween party. She decorated her house like a haunted house, and again, this was intense. If you guys watched the episode, Fallon Gobadia actually was pushed to her limits. Now, if she didn't prove that she could be a housewife, she did in this episode when she really stuck up for herself, her husband, her family, and her home, or as she likes to call it, her empire. LaToya Ali, who is a YouTuber, also a friend of on the show, actually showed up to the house, and she knew exactly what she was doing. It was so pre-calculated, it wasn't even funny. LaToya Ali shows up to the house, and she's immediately saying, I need a drink. I need somebody to serve me in this big house. Oh, so this is what dating a 65-year-old will get you. Her husband's not 65, he's 55, and LaToya knew exactly what she was doing by adding a decade to his age. But she wasn't done there. She proceeded to call her an HOE, I hate saying that word, and then also telling her she doesn't own nothing. Zip, zilch. This is your husband's money. You're on the come up. She then told her that she is not from this background. She's not from this kind of money. So, okay, girl, you came up. But she didn't stop there. She just kept going. And finally, as she's getting in the car, Fallon's like, you know what? You should throw me just a little bit of respect because I'm a 31-year-old. And before I came into this life, I had 3 children. And she's like, yeah, by 3 different baby daddies. It just kept going. Now, when LaToya Ali had the opportunity to get in the car and exit stage left, that's not what happened. She actually got back out of the car. She starts dancing, taunting even more. And finally, Fallon had enough. Security had to grab her, but she ran like what Drew Sidora likes to say, a running back for the Chicago Bears, around the house, straight to the garage to grab the golf club. Now, was she actually going to swing a golf club on anybody? Most likely not, right? She knows what she has. She has private jets, beautiful cars, a beautiful family, a great husband. She doesn't need to go to jail for hitting someone. And LaToya Ali would definitely put her there. LaToya Ali even tweeted out, I wish you would have hit me with that golf club because I would own your house. I would own your private jet. I'd own everything. And that's not cool. So you're taunting this woman. You want her to get into a physical altercation with you. You know exactly what you're doing by pushing her buttons. You're not only talking about, again, her home, what she likes to call her empire, her husband, herself, but then also her children. LaToya Ali knew exactly what buttons to push, and she got Fallon all the way there. Fallon stuck up for herself by running after her, but thank God producers, security, and the women sort of wrangled her back. They were like, no, Fallon, it's not worth it. Don't do this. But Fallon was ready. This was a super unfortunate scene in the episode because we've only seen good from Fallon. She's only been a sweetheart on the show, and it's not fair that she's really getting pushed to her limits for absolutely no reason. There's no reason to have a rift with this woman. She's done nothing wrong so far from what we've seen on the show. Now, there were a few things that were problematic, and I want to get back to the first one. The first one was the costume. So Kenya Moore showed up with a Native American costume on. She had the headdress. She thought she looked cute. She was calling herself a warrior princess, but Bravo aired it as Native American. Now, obviously, that was, again, extremely problematic. Drew Sidora pointed it out along with a few other castmates, and they were like, are we the only ones who see something wrong with this? Well, that's exactly what it seemed like, especially since Bravo went ahead and aired the episode, wrote the caption, and they showed Kenya in the costume. Now, Kenya at first decided to defend her actions on Twitter and said that this is a part of her heritage, that she actually has Native American blood, which she's defending herself. She's saying, listen, there was a reason that I wore this costume. So for her, it didn't feel problematic. But for fans, Bravo super fans, just anyone who's watching the show, they really went in on her. She didn't really issue an apology at the very beginning, but after the network issued an apology, Kenya came forth with one too, and I'm sure that was guided because as a network, as a business, if they're going to have this talent represent their business, they have to do damage control. And this is something where they fully had to take control of the narrative before it got out of control. Now, there were, again, a few statements issued. I just want to read them to you really quick. Now, from Bravo, they said Bravo aims to have the highest respect and inclusivity when it comes to the Real Housewives of Atlanta or any of their other franchises. They said that they recognize on the recent episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta that they did not uphold those same core values. So again, they're recognizing it. They said we had hoped that this would provide a teachable moment. However, in retrospect, now that they realize that the network did not address this properly given the gravity of the situation. They ended that statement with, we apologize to both the Native American community and our audience as a whole. Okay, so that was Bravo's apology, but Kenya had one too. She had one, especially after defending herself. Again, I'm sure someone told her, look, girl, you're going to have to come out with some sort of statement because there are a lot of people who are upset about this. And, you know, when you do wrong, in the words of Lisa Rinna from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you have to own it. You have to apologize. You have to just see that you made a mistake, learn better, do better, right? That's what we're all trying to do in this world. We're all trying to be better people. Mistakes were made and she's trying to fix them. I'm not going to say any more about that. I just want to read you her statement. Kenya said, I want to apologize, sincerely apologize for wearing the Native American headdress as a costume. I now realize that this was both insensitive and disrespectful, and I would have never have done it if I would have had that knowledge beforehand. Kenya ended that with, I regret it. When you know better, you do better. Okay, so Kenya's trying to redeem herself, and now the thing is the question is that enough? Is that enough for fans and the network to be able to be okay with this and move on? Can we keep Kenya around, or will she be eventually taken out of the show because of this problematic costume? It's super divided as of right now. A lot of fans are saying, hey, listen, there are certain costumes that you can get in Party City. All around the world, we should do better. We should eliminate these costumes. They shouldn't even be a thing. Kenya had the ability to buy the costume. Maybe she didn't know. You can't fault her completely, especially because she owned up to it. She apologized, and now she knows that she can never do this again. However, on the other side, they're saying that this is a grown woman. She knows exactly what she's doing. She was sitting there shading Portia Williams for being on the forefront of the Black Lives Matter movement, acting like Portia wasn't using her public figure for the movement, but for herself. She was acting like Portia was trying to just have a photo op, which isn't technically fair. Portia was arrested twice, and she was out there with everyone else. She was out there. She was protesting. She put herself on the front lines, and you can't take that away from her. Portia was following in the footsteps of her grandfather, and that was something that she's extremely proud of. She should be proud of it, and we're all proud of her. But Kenya seemed to be shading her, and now since she shaded her and that came out on TV, now people are starting to shade Kenya. Kind of as if Kenya threw out this shade and she thought that was okay, so now people are taking, defense to Portia Williams and going after Kenya. Now, two wrongs obviously don't make a right, meaning Kenya shading Portia for it, but then also wearing the Native American headdress. That was problematic. Again, we've said that, but she's trying to redeem herself. Is it possible? Will the network end up having to do something about this? Will they have to speak up even more? Will they have to end up firing Kenya because of this? Or do they have to assume just as much responsibility because they went ahead and aired the same thing? That wasn't the only problem. Fallon Gobadia in this episode ended up screaming out to LaToya Ali after being taunted relentlessly for, honestly, it was probably about 30 minutes. Who knows, with editing, it could have been even more, it could have been even less. LaToya could have been there for 10 minutes. LaToya, as soon as she arrived there, she went around the table. She kind of said little shady things to each person. Drew Sidora, she said, we have a love-hate relationship. Kenya Moore, she shared her thoughts with, and then Fallon Gobadia. But Fallon had it up to here and then yells at her and called her a Trini because she is Trinidadian. Ouch. That's also not acceptable. However, Fallon did go on to protect herself and just kind of let the viewers know that she was called a few names herself by LaToya, but that was cut out. It was edited out, wasn't aired. Again, fans want to know, well, why is one thing being aired that is absolutely problematic and unacceptable, but then we're protecting someone else on this side and you're not airing what they said? Why wouldn't you just eliminate and edit out all of that as a whole and just protect the network and not hurt people's feelings? Because you have to remember, there are people at home who are watching these shows and they can get offended. We can get offended as fans. You don't know who you're hurting, whether it's a garment that you wear, whether it's a word that you say. You never know who you're hurting. That's why you just have to constantly be aware and try to do better. I think we all can do that. We all should do that. And I think especially moving forward, that's something important for all of us to remember. Now, with that being said, I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that Kenya Moore will be back next season? Or do you think, since Bravo took responsibility with Kenya, that Kenya will be able to just go on with this apology? She will be able to be forgiven and we will invite her back next season. Guys, I always read your comments. I love hearing what you have to say. If you haven't already, go ahead, comment below, answer the questions that I ask you. Make sure that you hit that like button because, well, it helps. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. And with that being said, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching Up and Adam.